All right. So today is January 6th. It is about 8:19, 8:20 from last time I checked my phone. And I have just worked out earlier. I also did like two takes, but I didn't like how they were going because I couldn't make up my mind about what to talk about. But then I had somebody help do a tiebreaker. So I also did work today. I worked like eight, like, oh my God, we were cleaning out stalls today, bro. It was terrible. By the way, for those people who don't know, so I work at an event stable where people bring their horses and they do like a bunch of horse equestrian events, and it's pretty cool. It's a fun and rewarding job. Personally, I should probably talk about it in a future episode about like how much I like it and the fulfillment I get from this job. But for now, I just want to talk about something different. Well, I mean, it can kind of touch into it, but you know that we'll see about later on. So this is going to be episode 2 of my self-improvement video series to keep me kind of accountable with like working out and mental health and all of that. And you know, just for people to check in on me. So I think that'll be pretty cool to keep this consistent almost every day. Um, anyways, one thing I want to talk about. So the last videos I sent were about 4, maybe 5 years ago. And after that, after posting those videos, I was actually in college. That's why I initially stopped making videos. And because of college, I ended up getting to a point where I kind of felt like I wasn't like, you know, worth a lot. I kind of felt like I had disappointed my family with my performance in school, and I kind of didn't really know if the track I wanted to do was the thing I wanted to do, and you know, just this kind of unsureness in myself and this disappointment in myself. You know, it just kind of jumbled up, especially with a bunch of mental things I had that I kind of left undiagnosed and untreated before college, like during like high school, maybe a little bit of middle school. I ended up just like thinking bad thoughts, and yeah, I thought I was. Let me just rip the Band-Aid off. I wanted to jump off of a building, like a super high one, and in a couple nights, like I was thinking about it during my semester, my first semester, and there were points where I would go up on bridges. We had these like big bridges that would go over the train tracks, and it was like pretty high. And I would go on it on my bike. I wouldn't walk it up. I would go on my bike, and I think that part of the mindset of going up on a bike instead of walking was, number one, it was already a far enough walk without my bike, and number two, it would be super exhausting to ride up on my bike that I would be so exhausted at the peak that I wouldn't be able to climb over the wall, which was like already super high, and then jump off. It sounds morbid. It's morbid because it is, but like that was my mentality, right? And eventually I would just be so tired that I would roll down. But then I also get this like rush of serotonin, or like whatever the happy stuff is, and like riding down and having the wind in my hair. And since it's the middle of the night, like the road was clear, and you know, I was just zooming. I'm like, oh, this is pretty fun. You know, maybe life isn't so bad after all. And I would just go back to whatever I was doing. But there was one point where I was on the top of, that was my alarm. There was one point where I was on top of a garage. We had like 2 or 3 parking garages, and one of them was, I think it was just about like 5 stories tall, and I was up at the top of it, and at a certain point, I was kind of there. My hands were right at the top of it. I wasn't super tired, and my hands were right on top of the rail, and I was looking down. And I was thinking about life, right? I was thinking like, man, you know, I'm freaking fat. I'm stupid. I can't even do school right. I can't even be I can't do super well. All my friends are doing super well. I'm always coming back to my dorm tired. Nobody really hangs out with me. which is kind of untrue because people would always invite me to go to like big gatherings, and I would go and I would play off that I'm not all right, but I was not all right, you know. But yeah, I was staring down. I was thinking terrible thoughts, some stupid stuff that I shouldn't be thinking, but I was anyways. And it got to a point where I was thinking about people who also made that decision. There were two important. Why is my alarm going off? Two important two people that keep me from making the ultimate decision. Right. One of them was my grandpa, and I call him Papa. He was on my mother's side. My grandma is not my grandma anymore. We just kind of exile her out because she's crazy. But he's polar opposite. He was super nice. He was so fun, and he's probably no. He is the only like grandparent I remember, and that who I pretty much accept as my grandparent. And he was so fun, but I didn't really get to spend much time with him after like I think it was like first grade, except for like this one time where we took a road trip, but that would eventually be our last road trip back to the grandparents. And sometime I think around the end of middle school to high school, he wrote a note to each of his kids and took his life that day. And it was really heartbreaking because that was somebody that I was attached to, but it's somebody who I didn't have much remember much, right? Like he was pretty much kept with my grandma the whole time. I guess he said that he felt trapped in life, so this was his way out. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily too trapped in my life. I have few options, but at the same time, I feel like there's no way out. And then I thought of one of my other friends. So she lived down the road from me, and this is around the same time, right? I think it was either the same year, but it was sometime before what happened to my grandpa. So there was this girl that was on my street, and she was kind of like a weird and quirky girl, right? And she was pretty funny too. And we would actually sit at the lunch table sometimes and talk and stuff. We didn't share any classes, but I saw her around a couple times, and there were even like snow days where we went and hung out. And sometimes I think there were like a couple middle schooler, not middle schooler, a couple of elementary school kids that would come and mess with us too. So they would join us while we were playing in the snow. And I remember one day she was just not acting herself, and then the next day she didn't even show up to school. So pre-chance. So right here is where the bus stop is. Right here is where her house is, and further down the road, I'm over there, like up that way, and that's where my house is. So I pretty much pass her house after school. So I'm coming off the school bus, and people are just chattering to each other. I don't know what they're talking about because I had my headphones in, because I was just kind of scrolling around and doing a little bit of homework. But when I'm going up, I look at her house because I was like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. Well, the last time I ever see her is being carted out with a white blanket over her parents crying at the front door, and her hand is just limp out off the gurney. And that is the last time I saw her. Not at school, when we were kind of having fun at the lunch table, even though she was kind of acting weird. But after the fact. And so when I was thinking about my grandpa at that point, it snapped and made me think about her and how devastated I was. Because this was somebody I hung out with. Somebody I pretty much broke bread with. And, both of them made me laugh, like they were both really cool. And now they're gone. Now, like just on a random day, I can't see them anymore. Parents can't see them anymore. Or, in the case of my grandpa, like none of his extended family can see him no more. We can't see him no more. So it was just a shell shock, right? Well, like, what happened? Like, what happens to the people that are around you after you remove yourself, right? You might be thinking that. You might think that. Like, I wonder how a day would be like without me. How would life be when you're just removed from it? You were there and now you're just gone. And I thought about my mom, about how she reacted when my grandpa, you know. And then I think about what happened to her parents when she. So at that point, I was like, maybe there is more to life than just doing this, because it's otherwise a selfish motion, and I'm not going to get any better. If in fact I'm just going to get really worse if I just do this, and there will be no chance for me to climb back up. And why would I waste myself if they made the choice to die? Why don't I make the choice to live for them, right? And I'm not gonna cry right now because I already shed enough tears thinking about it. But let's just say that now I stay alive, I stay myself, and you know, I try to live my days and work them down to the bone as much as I can, even though I'm still a little bit lazy, but you know, work them as far and energetic as I can, because they won't be able to anymore. I have a chance. I have a chance, an opening ticket to keep going and live for them, right? For the quirky people and for the beloved people. Both of them. And I'm both of those things. I'm somebody who is loved by family and friends. People invite me out. Somehow they do. People invite me out. And you know, I'm weird, I'm quirky, just like she kind of was. And you know what? Who cares? You know, I'm not doing actual crimes. I'm not doing weed. I'm not getting to drunk driving and whatnot. I'm not doing stupid stuff. I don't have anything on my criminal. I don't even have a hint of a criminal record, except for maybe stealing a couple pencils from people because I keep forgetting to give them back while I'm doing a drawing in the middle of somewhere I probably shouldn't be even drawing. But it's not graffiti, it's just on a piece of paper that I own, or a napkin that, you know, I use. Anyways, we're getting off topic here, but the point is that my mental health was so bad, I almost took a jump. But instead of jumping, I took a leap of faith. It kind of sounds counterintuitive, but here. Nobody's alone. You might be thinking these thoughts. You might be thinking it's over, right? You probably did some stupid, heinous stuff in your life. You probably thought, hey, you know what? I do not deserve to live because I am a stupid, chud, fat piece of crap, and I'm sitting in my parents' house and I'm an adult. Or maybe, you know, people don't like me because I'm quirky. Man, guess what? Dude, have you seen people on Instagram? Have you seen your Instagram? Have you seen your Instagram reels? Have you seen your TikTok reels? Have you seen the content you do on YouTube? There are weirdos. There are weirdos on this earth. And guess what? You are part of that consensus. Oh, people don't like me. Guess what? People don't like me. I'm stupid. I'm funny in a stupid way, in a very, oh my God, what the heck is he talking about way, right? I'm in voice chats. People are like, bro, they're so stupid. Oh my God. Well, whether it actually is stupid or they're just saying that because it's actually kind of funny, but they don't want to admit it. No, who cares, right? Who cares? There's a housing crisis. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to fixing it. Instead of sitting down and crying about, oh, woe is me, why don't we just go fix it, huh? You have the chance. You have the chance to fix it. And guess what? I'm in my 20s now. I wouldn't have been in my 20s now if I went kaput in the middle of college. Instead, I just dropped out and worked. And now I'm a little more humbled out. I'm more mellowed out like before. Maybe I'm not as extroverted as I used to be before I got depressed. But guess what? I'm getting out there. Dude, literally my coworkers today. My coworkers literally told me I am funny and I'm a great conversationalist. I totally forgot what the word was. And one of my coworkers literally will ask me point blank, be the first one to ask me to take him over to do stuff. Because not only am I of use to people, I am funny and people actually like me. And dude, one of my coworkers, he was like, dude, you're like, when I saw you the first day of work, I saw the way you dressed because I started dressing myself better after I got depressed. I saw your haircut, and my haircut was, even though it was kind of weird, I kind of kept care of it just enough to look pretty appealing. And he said, Kyle, you look like a sharp dude, and I thought that you were a cool dude. And now getting to work with you up until now, which was about 3 months, he said to me point blank, you are still a cool and chill man, and I enjoy talking to you. Random strangers that I met about 4 or 5 years later that I wouldn't have thought of talking to, and boom, they're already telling me that I am, telling me the opposite of what I was thinking before. The thing about mental health is that you just stab yourself. You take a knife and just stab yourself. You just stab yourself. You stab your brain, you stab your heart, and now your heart kind of sours out like a raisin, and you dry yourself up, and you don't think you can be watered again. But guess what? Just pull that knife out. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hard because that blade is jagged, right? It's jagged. It's like one of those cool Middle Eastern blades, and it hurts because it's just making the hole bigger. But guess what? You get people that can wrap their hands around you like a suture does, and it just closes that hole up, right? And the more it just holds together, I'm squishing my boobs super hard, and you're squishing that super hard that it eventually just heals itself over. And guess what? It's not gonna go away. The thing about scars is they don't go away. They kind of slightly fade, but they stay there. They stay there with you. And it's not that, the point of scars is not to erase them, but they are there to be a reminder to yourself. A reminder that there was something bad that happened to you, and you pushed through, persevered, stayed strong, and survived. All you just gotta do is have a change of perspective, pull that metaphorical blade out, and just let yourself heal. Right? Dude, 4 to 5 years is what it took for me to get over whatever was going on in here. And now it's gone. Now it's gone. I mean, you still probably think, you're fat, you're a chud, you're stupid, people don't like you. But then you just remind yourself, at the end of the day, you sit in your bed and you're like, you know what? There's people out there who love me. There are people out there who kind of like my quirkiness. As weird as it is, people like that quirkiness. And, keep trucking on. You go on vacations. You go see Hawaii. Oh my gosh, the beauty of Hawaii. Oh, I wish to go back again. You get to go see a cool canyon or something. And you're like, man, well, dude, this was such a cool canyon. And guess what? You wouldn't have been able to do that if you were moping around in your room. And then you see the sunlight and you're like, man, I'm so happy for the sun. I get to see things. And then you get to see a flower and you're like, oh my gosh, this flower is so cool. I probably want to see this cool flower. Oh my gosh, man. I wouldn't have these ripped abs if I didn't start working out after oh man, this job is really dope. Man, my coworkers really love me. I wouldn't have had this job if I didn't. Love yourself. You gotta love yourself. That's the thing. That's the last thing. Last note. You gotta love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, all of the things I just said about how I fix myself will not work. Because the simplest thing is, if you don't like yourself, then you're not going to do anything for yourself. If you don't like Tyrone from Manchester, who comes over and steals all your snacks and is like, if you don't like him, you're not going to do anything for him when he's like, hey man, I need your help. I need your help. I'm sorry for taking your chips, but I need your help. If you don't just like say, I forgive you for taking my chips and help him out, then, if you don't love yourself for taking the chips away, your sanity. For taking your chips away, your sanity. Then how are you going to help fix his problem and eventually like you in a kind of cartoonish, kind of reverse, turn heel kind of way, like Vegeta, right? Oh my God, I hate people. Oh, I'm racist against other aliens, just like Frieza. And then heel turn, like people act nice to him. Heel turn, boom. Hey, you know what? Maybe this friends and holding hands thing is kind of gay, but it's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do it with Kakarot or any of these other guys, but I kind of have a wife and kid, and this is pretty cool. This is a change of perspective. But look, if you're going through things, if you're sitting there, you're like, man, I do not want to get up to work out today. Man, I'm just gonna stay a fat piece of lard all day. You gotta get out there and do it. You gotta love yourself. You gotta be like, hey, you know what? It would be sick to have abs. I'm gonna go through it now and get these abs. Because guess what? I love myself and I would love to have abs. So I am going to do this personal thing and give myself what I need. I'm gonna do those ab crunches no matter how hard it hurts. Like a blade through my chest. Oh, there's a metaphor again. Ooh. But yeah, it's just, mental health is just a crazy thing. It's a crazy, crazy thing. And you know what? Maybe sometimes you just can't figure it out for yourself. So you should go down to the description, because in the description, I'm hopefully going to add in as many contacts as I can to get you help. And you should also probably consult your family members. And if you can't consult your family members, maybe close friends. And if you can't talk about it with any of those two, then you know what? Get a stranger who's qualified. You should get yourself a therapist now. You should love yourself now. And just, there's already darkness in the world. Aren't you sick of it? Don't you want to fill it with light, your own light, Be the fire, be the flame, spark it, make yourself happy. If you're weird, then embrace it, dog. Just don't be disgusting about it. If you are really fat like me, then girl or dude or they, them, go work on yourself. Go look in the mirror and don't say, oh my God, I'm fat. Say, I have improvement to do, because if I improve myself, then I am going to look good. So I will love myself through the entire process, because I am helping myself become a better person. Or maybe you're like, man, I hate this job. Oh my God, it's gonna be the death of me. If it's gonna be the death of you, why don't you get rid of the poison and get a different job? Get something that's better. Or go talk to the rival company that actually looks really better with a better 401k and say, hey, can I sign up with you guys? You guys have a better 401k. Do that healthy thing for you. Do that thing. Don't stick around. I stuck around for a job I hated for 2 years and it was miserable. But now that I'm kicked out and I got a new job, boom, my mental health is back on track, man. I'm like, bro, this job is so awesome. It's so fun. I get to see horses, ponies. I get to see horses. Okay, anyways, I'm having an autistic stim right now and I need to close out this video. So thank you guys for listening to my video. We really went on a roller coaster there. I'm sorry for that. That was me. That was just me going on an entire roller coaster for however long this video is. But I hope you guys kind of get the message, you get the point of what I'm talking about. I'm kind of tired right now, so I'm not really thinking straight. But I'm not thinking gay. But thank you guys for sticking around, if you do. And please like, comment, subscribe, comment down below. What are you going through right now? What's happening in your life? What is making you feel like a sourpuss? Or what is making you feel like you're having the time of your ding dang life? Just like me, horses. So please keep on doing it. flex that brain power of yours and get to manipulating matter. Get to manipulating waffles. Blows up pancakes with mind. My pancakes. All right, see you around.